Blog Talk Radio.
Today, on a special episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, it is the Clash Wrestling Year in Review for 2013 with special guest, once again, Wreckingball Randy Casey. That is all today, right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Today on Blog Talk Radio, it's Saturday, January 4th, 2014. The first new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic of the year. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, today and listening. And hopefully soon we will be joined by the special guest today, Wreckingball Randy Casey, to do a year in review of Clash Wrestling for 2013. And we're being joined right now by our very special guest today, the man that has been on 360 Wrestling Fanatic more than any other guest, Wreckingball Randy Casey. Thanks for coming on again to Australia today.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on the show. I'm real excited to be on the show again and talk everything Clash Wrestling. And I'm real excited, Lance. It feels good to be back on the show again.
First of all, how are you liking the weather today here in Michigan?
You know, it's like that one song says. It's cold in the D. You know, it's pretty cold out there. We got more snow coming. Got a little bit of snow out there. So you know what? I've been just having a good time studying some tapes, getting ready for my big match on the 18th, and just trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
And I got to start off the show by saying recently we had the 360 Wrestling Fanatic Best of 2013 award, and we had one award that was voted by the listeners of 360 Wrestling Fanatic on our message board, and it was Guest of the Year, and Wreckingball, we got it, so congratulations.
Oh, wow, that's, it's such an honor, such an achievement. First I want to thank, you, Lance, and thank Tony and everyone at 360 Wrestling Fanatic Radio, and I also want to personally thank the fans that listened to the show and took the time to vote for Wreckingball. I always have a fun time coming on the show, so it's just an honor to win this award. It means a lot to me.
And there were a lot of good interviews, but you were on more times than anybody, and not only were you on by yourself, but you were on a couple times with your partner, Wax Star Dave Manville. So now we're going to do the year-in review, and let's start off January, Seize the Day 6. And what were some of your favorite memories about that show?
Seize the Day 6, it was a real fun show. We had Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn was there going against Cameron Sky, and what was really exciting was the match I was in, featuring me, Dave Manzo, Rockstar, or the future Mike Daniels, whatever he calls himself, and making his debut, Justin Maine. And that was a real tough, hard-fought match. Justin Maine ended up getting the win, and we saw where that win eventually led to him getting a championship match. So it was a big show, and especially it being the 60s a day and to be in a match with, compete with such great talent. It was a real fun show, real learning experience for me.
Also, on that show, in my opinion, there were some Match of the Year candidates on the show, and one of them was the one that started it, the TLC match, Gavin Quinn and Dragon Greed versus the H3RD for the tag team titles, and would you agree that that is a candidate for the Match of the Year?
Oh, definitely that match. Definitely Match of the Year potential. I just remember, Clash Wrestling. Whenever there is a TLC match, I think there's only been 2. They're always hard-hitting, extremely violent, and really, really dangerous. And I think that match was insane, and it was crazy match. So insane. Definitely Match of the Year potential.
And another one, in my opinion, on the same show, and I want to get your thoughts on it, was the main event, Jay Miller defeating Petey Williams for the Clash Championship.
If you had to ask me if I had to pick one of the 2 of which match was the best match at Season A, I would have to hands down pick Jay Miller and Petey Williams. They had a long, hard feud. Petey Williams was running and ducking Jay Miller's challenges, and Jay Miller finally got him one-on-one in the ring for the belt, and Jay Miller did just that. He won the Clash Wrestling Championship, and that was a huge moment for everyone, for him being able to beat Petey Williams and win the belt. It was awesome watching in the back, and I was really happy for John winning the belt.
And then Clash to the Future Part 5, we had the Honky Tonk Man, and he took on Elk, who was still known as the Caveman Tyler Elkins at the time. But when he was there, did you have a chance to meet and talk to the Honky Tonk Man?
Yeah, actually, I got to talk to Honky for a little while backstage. Just chatting up with him, trying to pick his brain, trying to get a little wrestling knowledge from what I can from him. And I can't say any more. Honky Tonk's such a nice guy, so awesome. His whole Southern lifestyle, such an awesome guy, real down to earth man. And I really hope we bring him back in the future, because there's a lot that the guys in Clash Wrestling can learn from a guy like Honky Tonk Man. I mean, he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, so he's definitely someone to listen to.
And we also saw a great match on that show, which was the main event. Once again, Jay Miller and Petey Williams, but this time it was a 30-minute Iron Man match with the Clash Championship on the line. And I thought they had another show-stealing match. What did you think of it?
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you get Jay Miller and Petey Williams in a match, it's going to be insane, let alone giving them 30 minutes, actually well over 30 minutes, because if I'm corrected, the match had to go into overtime or a draw. But I just remember, how great these guys are in physical condition. These guys went over a half hour, and just such a hard-hitting, strong competition match. And, it was really fun to watch.
And at Age of Allegiance, I believe it was, we saw the return to Clash Wrestling of Scotty 2 Hotty, and he defeated Justin Maine. And Scotty has been in Clash before, so what is he like when he comes to Clash? Is he cool to hang out with there in the back?
I would have to say Scotty 2 Hotty is the most fun guy to hang around with backstage. He's so real, so down to earth, always, quick to give advice. And he was watching a lot of the show backstage, and he would go up to a few of the guys and give them, critiques and things that they should work on or do better. And, from what I got from Scotty 2 Hotty, he's a guy who really cares about the wrestling business, and he's looking out for the future of it. And, every time he comes, it's always a good time. I wouldn't mind me getting in there with Scotty, maybe doing a little bit of a dance-off, because I know that'd be a lot of fun. And I got some good moves, too, that can compete with Scotty 2 Hotty.
Yes, and we even saw you do the worm this year during the power outage at Grapple Gambler.
Yeah, that's right. Well, like we had the power go out, and there was no action going on in the ring. No one's talking or anything. So me doing Wreckingball fashion, I just run out through the curtain, try to entertain the people as long as I could until the power came on. And eventually we did get a little bit of power, so that was a good thing that it came back.
Right now, I just want to talk about real quick the women's wrestling we've seen in Clash this year. Of course, Leah Von Dutch has been appearing for Clash the last couple of years now. And this year we've seen some debuts. We've seen Zandra Bale, Olivia Sparks, and Jasmine. And I was thinking I would like to see some more come in and maybe see a women's championship here in Clash. And what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think that there's a lot of really great female competitors out there, especially like you said, how with Clash Wrestling had Leah Von Dutch, Eliza Sparks, Sandra Bale, and Jasmine. Those were great in women, and we need to get more women in Clash Wrestling, I think, and more competition because these girls need to get more exposure, and Clash Wrestling is a good way to do that. And I do agree that Clash Wrestling eventually will need a women's championship because we have a tag team championship and we have a world championship. Now, what do the females have to go for? So they need something for them to compete for. So I definitely agree that there will be a women's championship in the future.
And also, can't forget the annual Relay for Life show. And while we were there, you had a match against Elk. And then that ended up leading to, later on in the night, a six-man tag team match. And your partners were Jay Miller and Cameron Sky, two great wrestlers. And what was it like teaming with those two?
It was pretty interesting. I've never tagged with Jay Miller or Cameron Sky up until that point, and it was just interesting, like the different personalities that they have. You have Cameron Sky, real big, flashy, Vegas, Then you have Jay Miller, really quiet, humble, keeps to himself, meditates. So it was a weird team. Then you got me, the big, wacky, goofy guy. So it was a real fun team. And from what I remember, we actually worked pretty good together and got a big win. So, hey, I wouldn't mind getting us together some six-man tag action down the line.
And, of course, we did an interview after the show, but unfortunately we had some technical problems and it was lost, but it was interrupted by Elk, who just rudely walked by.
Oh, yeah, it was, it's only Elk, anytime you see Elk backstage, he's a real big jerk. And, we had a real fun interview doing it backstage. And I think maybe Elk sabotaged the interview. From what I remember, we called him out for being a jerk. And I think he got upset, got some high-tech IT people involved and sabotaged our promo. But you know what? I'm going to get the better of Elk on the 18th, and I'm going to make up for him ruining our interview.
That could be true. And also, now move on to August. All Out War. I have to say it was probably one of the best Clash shows I've ever seen live, and it saw the Clash debut of Tommy Dreamer added to the Clash championship between Jay Miller and Justin Maine, and excuse me, not Justin Maine.
Dead Vaughn.
Dead Vaughn. Sorry about that. And he wasn't advertised for the match, surprisingly won the championship. And what were you thinking when that happened?
Well, first, when watching the whole show unfold, I think Dead Vaughn blew a huge opportunity for himself wrestling Jay Miller one-on-one in a street fight, because if it was one-on-one street fight, I saw Dead Vaughn winning that belt. But with him attacking Tommy Dreamer, then the Clash officials throwing Tommy Dreamer into the match, it was, insane. You got this hardcore legend, Tommy Dreamer, now going for the biggest belt that we have here in Clash Wrestling. And just seeing him win was almost unbelievable, because nothing against the guys that we've had, but Tommy Dreamer was hands down the biggest high-profile name we've had win the championship belt, and that was just saying what Clash Wrestling is about, that how everyone wants to be Clash champion. And that was insane watching that match and seeing Tommy Dreamer get his hand raised as the Clash Wrestling champion.
And to go back earlier in the night, the all-out war match, and it was for the first time ever co-winners, Justin Maine and Gavin Quinn, and then Justin Maine comes out after Dreamer wins the title and cashes in, kind of like Money in the Bank style, and wins the title, and then Gavin Quinn comes out to try to cash in, and then Justin Maine runs right out of the Taylortown Trade Center. And were you surprised by everything that happened at All Out War?
Well, first I was surprised that there were two winners, because that has never happened in Clash Wrestling history. And I was surprised with the decision that they made of giving them each a title shot. So you had that there. Then after the match, and like the way these title shots contracts were handed out, from what I heard, is like anytime, anywhere that they could, hate to use this term, but cash in at any time, anywhere. So Justin Maine using it was a little bit of a shock, but actually a really smart move. You know, Tommy Dreamer just fought in that hardcore street fight and was vulnerable, and Justin Maine got in, took advantage, and got himself a Clash Wrestling Championship. So I think it's really smart. Now, Gavin Quinn had the same idea, try to run out there, but, you know, Justin Maine, being the coward that he is, hightailed it out of the Taylortown Trade Center before Gavin Quinn could even get the bell rung. So, yeah, it was that All Out War was the most shocking night in Clash Wrestling history, from Tommy Dreamer being added to the championship match to actually winning the championship and losing it in the same night to Justin Maine. It was a night full of surprises.
Do you think we will see the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer, back in Clash anytime soon?
I definitely think so. You know, if you look at the contracts that these guys have, if you lose your title, you get a title rematch. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Tommy Dreamer come back, ask for a Clash Wrestling Championship match. And you know what? Whoever the champion is going to have some trouble, because they're going to have to go against Tommy Dreamer, and not only Tommy Dreamer, but a pissed-off, angry Tommy Dreamer wanting the Clash belt.
And unfortunately, this year, Clash from the Crypt was canceled. But then November 30th, it was time for Divided We Fall. And we have a match for the Clash Tag Team Championship. The Handicap Heroes taking on the newly formed team with yourself and your good friend, Ragstar Dave Mambro. And then you guys won the title. And then after the show, we did a live interview, and then we named you guys Team Wreckingball. And what was that like, taking the titles from Zach and Gregory like that?
Well, it was a weird situation. You know, we walked into Taylortown Trade Center. Zach and Greg, by the rules of having a championship, having to defend it every 2 months, had to defend the tag team titles, but they had no tag teams to compete against. So me and Dave were always talking about how we would be a good tag team. We'd fit together. We're both really good friends. Both of our girlfriends, you know, work the merch table. You know, we hang out in real life. We're best pals. So we took the chance and we signed our names on the list. Sure enough, we were the ones that got selected for the title match. And it went from there, you know, got the battle of Zach and Greg, you know, a great tag team, well-traveled tag team, inspirational tag team even. Just be in the ring with them was an honor, and to compete in a hard-hitting, strong-fighting match, it was insane. And I thought we actually didn't win the match, because from what I last remembered, I took a moonsault from Zach Gowen, and I heard a 3 count. Little did I know, I wake up, get myself together, and I realized, well, I was getting pinned. Dave Manzo slid right in, pinned Gregory Iron for the 1, 2, 3. And Dave Manzo, you know, my best friend, won us championship belt. So, hey, and it was such a cool moment. From, you know, most of 2013 was a little down for me and Manzo. We didn't pick up too many wins, and, you know, just for us to put us together and for us to actually get the win and win the Clash Wrestling Tag Team Champions, that was, you know, insane. Such a cool moment for me and him, and, you know, it's looking forward to 2014 and hold on to those belts.
And right after the match, when you guys won the belt, you were immediately, yourself and Zach Gowen and Gregory Iron, were attacked by the monster Dead Vaughn and Elk, and it was revealed now that the Professor Matthew Priest are managing both of these guys now, and we found out when you talked to Matthew Bishop for the Clash Wrestling post-show, and then we interviewed you right after, we found out that you'll be defending the titles against them at Seize the Day 7. So what have you guys been doing to prepare for this title defense?
You know, we're going into this match with open minds. You know, we're not getting too serious about like any normal team would be really serious, grinding down, watching all kinds of tapes as they can. But you know, we're just relaxing, having fun, taking it easy, not trying to keep our cool, because the difference between me and Manzo compared to guys like Elk and Dead Vaughn, they honestly have no personality. They're just all about beating people up, and that's it. Well, me and Manzo, we like to go out there, have fun, get the crowd behind us, and, hey, have a few laughs. So those two styles clashing, I think I can see us getting the advantage because we're going to be more calm, collective. But they will have Professor Matthew Priest in their corner, and that is the one part of the match I'm not looking forward to, having him, because he likes to stick his nose everywhere that it doesn't belong. And if he sticks his nose in my business when I'm in the ring, or if I'm waiting for a tag, I will have no problem hopping off that apron, giving him a big punch right in the nose, and teaching him a big lesson.
You know, now that you bring up Matthew Priest, he's going to be in the corner, and I got to try something here. It might not work, but I was thinking maybe to even up the size a little bit, Team Flagball could have Lance from 360 Wrestling Fanatic as their manager for one night, if Clash Wrestling is okay with that.
Oh, I like that idea. You know, we got to talk to a few people to get the okay, you know, especially check with Manzo. But, you know, I wouldn't have a problem if getting you to even up the odds, even getting you and Tony and getting Artie the Wolf, getting the whole gang out there on my back to watch our backs during the match, because that Professor Priest is honestly, he's always up to no good, always trying to cheat his way. So if I had you guys, Lance, out there watching my back, I think we would have a fair match. So you know what? That's a good idea. I think I'm going to talk to the few people in charge over at Clash Wrestling, get a hold of them on the Twitter and the emails, and I'll see if we can make that happen, Lance, because, you know, that'd be a fun Seize the Day moment, you know, getting 360 Wrestling Fanatic part of the show. Hey, I like it. Let's make that happen.
I hope it works out. And I want to know your predictions right now for the main event, a three-way match for the Clash Heavyweight Championship. Jay Miller defending against Gavin Quinn and Justin Maine.
Wow. If I'm being 100% honest, I really don't know who's going to win this match, because if you look at it on paper, it's the three absolute best wrestlers in Michigan going at it for the Clash Wrestling Championship belt. And you have Justin Maine, well-traveled guy, a lot of TV exposure, being on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Justin Maine's going places in wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him on Monday nights in the future. Then you got Jay Miller, another well-traveled guy, doing a lot of big things in AAW over in Chicago. Been Clash champion for a long time. Recently won the belt back, so he's good. But if I had to pick one person to win, after thinking about it, I have to pick Gavin Quinn. If you had to ask me out of those three who is the best wrestler, I would have to say Gavin Quinn is the best. Gavin Quinn might not always have the best attitude, might not always be a fan favorite, but there's not a better athlete than him. So if you have to ask me who's going to win at Seize the Day, I'm putting my money on Gavin Quinn.
And have to talk about a big story that happened this year at Clash. It was, in my opinion, quite a shocking moment at All Out War. During the All Out War match, we saw the return of one of the most popular tag teams in defending Clash Wrestling, Two Swedes, everybody got excited about that. And then Bryce Benjamin turns on Joey Marks in the middle of the ring, and what were you thinking when you saw that?
Well, it was I hate to sound like a woman, but it was a little heartbreaking, you know, seeing Too Sweet. First you see Too Sweet out there in the same ring together, and it seems like forever since they were on a Clash show. They were going out there, lighting up the ring, taking everyone out. Then Bryce, you know, just turning on Joey and eliminating him. And not only eliminating him, but picking up the mic and, you know, really running him down, big trash talking. And it was really hard to watch. Then, you know, I got the Rumble, I got the entrance into the All-Out War match right after Joey, so I went out there, tried to take advantage. But, you know, I had that bad knee, and he threw me out right away. But just to see Too Sweet break up in that kind of fashion with Bryce's ego getting in the way, it was really sad. And it was a really good tag team, Too Sweet. And you know what? When they collide, it's going to be huge.
Who would you predict to win this match between the former partners?
It's you know, it's a toss-up. You know, we got they're so used to being a tag team wrestlers. Both of those guys are trained to be tag team wrestlers. If I had to pick one over the other, I might have to lean towards Bryce. You know, Bryce has that mean streak, that edge that's going to get him over the top, and when they collide, it's going to be crazy, and I don't know if it's going to be too good for Joey Marks.
And another match I heard about that will take place is Ace High, Cameron Sky taking on Dragon Greed. And lately, you've seen Dragon Greed, another guy that has had a bad temper lately. Last show, provided we saw, he lost his cool in the ring, got disqualified again against Cameron Sky. And what do you think is going on with Dragon?
I think Dragon might be starting to get affected by the success of his former partner. You know, Gavin Quinn went on to win All Out War, and since Gavin Quinn and Dragon Greed have appeared to have broken up, Dragon hasn't been getting as much success, and I think it's starting to get to him, and he's starting to get frustrated, not keep his cool, and it's obviously showing. And Dragon Greed has nothing to be jealous of or to be even angry of. This guy is a former Clash Wrestling champion, a tag team champion even, and he's letting his own insecurities get the better of him, and it's going to cost him because, you know, Cameron Sky is also a really smart wrestler, and he's going to take advantage of Dragon's frustrations, and I think Cameron is going to be the one coming on top with Dragon Greed looking like a fool again.
Now, it's a new year, and what does 2014 hold in store for Wreckingball?
You know, I was actually thinking about this question, you know, because every year in professional wrestling, a wrestler like myself or anyone looks at the beginning of the year and says, what do I want to accomplish? 2013, I had big goals for myself. I wanted to win the Clash Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And I didn't necessarily accomplish that goal, but I did win a Clash Wrestling Championship, the Tag Team Championship. But this, in 2013, I would say I had my best matches, quality-wise. And for 2014, I want just to have more fun, and I really want to get more crowd interaction. If you come to a Clash Wrestling show, I want there to be a chance that you can be part of the show, that you can be part of Wreckingball's match. So in 2014, my big goal is more crowd interaction.
And hopefully more appearances, of course, right here on Wrestling Fanatic.
Oh, definitely. You know, I want to be on. Like, if I could, I would be on every show. You know, I watch Raw, SmackDown, Impact. I wouldn't mind, you know, chatting it up with you. I definitely have fun coming on here, and you know what? I wouldn't mind being on a few more times this year.
No, so I actually have one thing that I would like to see in 2014, and since AJ Styles apparently is now gone from TNA, I would love to see him make an appearance in Clash Wrestling this year. How about you?
Yeah, definitely. It would definitely be fun to see AJ Styles in Clash Wrestling. You know, he's been with TNA Wrestling for so long, and now he's a free agent, able to go wherever he wants. I wouldn't mind seeing him here in Clash Wrestling. Another free agent wouldn't mind seeing is Chris Hero. You know, Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno in NXT. See him in Clash Wrestling. You know, there's a lot of free agents now that I think would be great for Clash Wrestling. Would be great competition and have fun matches. So you know what, I wouldn't mind seeing some of these big name free agents coming and doing a stop at Clash Wrestling.
Now, we've been mainly talking about Clash for 2013 this show, but real quick to talk about a little WWE, and what are your thoughts on the Animal Batista returning on January 20th?
You know, I think it's going to be really interesting. You know, it's around WrestleMania. That's where everyone comes home. Everyone wants to be part of the big show. And excuse me. Now Batista wants to get in on it, get a little return. And you know, I think it's fun. I've always enjoyed watching Batista, a big powerhouse. You know, real intensity, and I'm looking forward to see what he does when he returns on the 20th on Monday Night Raw.
I was thinking, and I want to know what you think about this. Do you think we could see a match between him and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania this year?
I think it's open. You know, Brock Lesnar is all about making a name, taking out the big dog, and if Batista comes back, there's going to be two big dogs in 1 yard, and we're going to have to see those two big dogs fight. So where is the bigger place to have a fight than at WrestleMania? So I'm open. That would be a really, really fun, hard-hitting match.
And now, just to step away from wrestling for a little bit, your next movie, I hope I get this right, The Color of My Energy, is that still due out in March?
Yep, that's right. That's a project I just filmed, wrapped up a couple of months ago. It was a real fun, real challenging project. It's a great story about a police officer who gets shot, and the people that are in the hospital waiting for him are not his family, but the people that he's affected and the lives that he touched. And it's a real touching story. It's actually loosely based off a true story about a real man and the people that he helped. So it's an honor to be part of a story that's capturing real people's lives, real emotion. And I cannot wait to see the final cut of it. I have not seen anything of it yet. I've just did the acting, and I'm excited to see it when it premieres.
And speaking of the premiere, I hope that the guests or the host of 360 Wrestling Fanatic can maybe get a special red carpet interview and VIP treatment.
Oh, of course. You know, if any event I go to, Lance and the whole 360 Wrestling Fanatic crew got the golden pass for me. Real quick, I just want to give a cheap plug that on this Tuesday, January 7th, my film, Taking Back the City, will be having a screening at the Mitten Movie Project in Royal Oak at the Royal Oak Main Theater at 7:30. And exclusive news that you're going to hear first, and all the listeners will hear first, get the first at it, that if you go to this event, this movie screening of Taking Back the City, and you have your ticket stub, and you bring that ticket stub to Clash Wrestling Seize the Day 7, that's pretty much a golden pass to get in for free. So if you get a ticket stub from January 7th at the Royal Oak Theater for my movie, bring it to Seize the Day, you got yourself a free ticket to Seize the Day. So why not come check out the movie, have a good time, then bring that ticket and watch a free wrestling show.
Wow, that's awesome. So hopefully everybody listening right now that hears this interview will do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's real fun. Not only you'll get to see Seize the Day for free, but you'll also get to experience Michigan independent film. And what I like about doing the Michigan independent films is that it's loosely like pro wrestling. You know, there's all kind of festivals, and your film travels to each one. It goes off how the crowd likes it. And so far, my movies have luckily been pretty good. No bad reviews. So you know, hopefully everyone comes out on the 7th and has a good time.
I was just going to ask a question. Do you think your wrestling helps your acting and vice versa?
I definitely think so. Like, I've learned a lot of what I've learned from wrestling actually carried over into acting, because way before I was ever an actor, I was wrestling. I was wrestling years before I ever got the chance to get into acting. And what I learned from wrestling that carried over into acting is that you always have to be on your feet, to expect the unexpected, because if you have a movie scene and something goes wrong, you can't just stop. You have to keep acting until you hear cut. And what I've learned from acting that I use in wrestling is that it's all about your character. And the thing I've always liked about myself compared to other guys in Clash Wrestling is that I'm not necessarily a character. I use my real name. I'm Randy Casey. I'm fun and energetic, and I'm not anything that I am. I'm not anything that I'm not. Like, I'm Randy Casey. The same Randy Casey that you see in a wrestling ring is the same Randy Casey that you see in real life at the bar, or the same guy you see in movies. So that's the one thing I learned about acting that I use in wrestling, is just be yourself, and people will follow.
Now, I have to ask real quick. Now, Seize the Day 7 coming up 2 weeks from tonight, actually. It's 1 week after my birthday, but I'll be celebrating it at Seize the Day. So I was wondering if after the show, if I could celebrate with Team Plasma.
Oh, yeah, you got it. You know, we're going to be partying up big because we'll still have the belts. We'll beat Dead Vaughn and Elk, and yeah, we'll definitely be going out partying it big. And you know what? Now that you told me it's your birthday, I expect there to be a happy birthday being sung at the show. I'm going to have to get on it, let Ringmaster B know, get the whole hundreds and hundreds of people to wish Lance Brock a big happy birthday.
Well, thanks a lot. Can't wait for that. And also, 2014, similar to the question I asked before, is there anybody that you would like to have a chance to work with in the ring that you haven't yet?
Oh, wow. That's a huge question. Anyone that I would like, yeah, of course there's a bunch of people that I really would like to work with and get to learn from. If I had to pick one in particularly, wow, I don't know. There's just so many guys out there that are traveling and working. I wouldn't mind, getting. Oh wow, that's you know what? I think Lance Brock, you finally stumped me. No, if I was to see anyone in Clash Wrestling, I'm drawing a blank. Like really anyone, because there's you have the younger indie guys that are out there traveling. Then you have the WWE veterans, TNA guys out there. So really anyone that can come out and help and give more experience to these guys.
Well, one guy I was thinking of, how about maybe the Big Bear, Benjamin Boone?
Oh yeah, definitely. Benny Boone's been on a couple shows. All right, he was in All Out War. Then he was also had a match with Dead Vaughn, and I like Ben Boone. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back to the show. And fun fact about Ben Boone, that his cousin is an actress and it was on the hit show Friday Night Lights on NBC. So every time I see Ben Boone, I'm always talking to him about Friday Night Lights. So hey, I wouldn't mind seeing him here more in Clash Wrestling.
Also, I mentioned AJ earlier about how I would like to see him in Clash. How about maybe John Morrison?
Yeah, definitely. John Morrison, Intercontinental Champion, big high flyer. Yeah, definitely. Seeing John Morrison and Jay Miller have a match, or John Morrison and Gavin Quinn, that match would sell big money. So, oh yeah, definitely would like to see John Morrison in 2014.
Now, this next guy is kind of unlikely, but I think Chris Jericho in Clash would be awesome.
Oh, wow, Chris Jericho. We better start saving up now, because I know he's not a cheap guy to bring in. Definitely Jericho would be really cool, So charismatic, so much energy, and so much wrestling experience, and it would just be insane. Jericho, I wouldn't mind him coming in and trying to get a piece of the action here in Clash Wrestling.
And minutes. So, yesterday was the birthday of your tag team partner, Ragstar Dave Manzo. So right now, I'm going to send out, it's a little late, but a quick shout-out to Dave Manzo right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was his birthday. Gave him the old happy birthday on Twitter. Actually, this Friday coming up, we're gonna be getting together, me and him. We're gonna be all getting together, going out, doing his swag thing, going out to the club. So buddy, happy birthday, Manzo. Can't wait to see you this week, and we're gonna have a good time. He's gonna teach me how to Dougie, teach me how to do the Gundam style, all the kind of cool swag stuff. So hey, I can't wait to get together with him and have a good time. You still there, Lance? Well, I seems to appear that we have lost Lance, actually. First time ever on 360 Wrestling Fanatic Radio. Now you got Wreckingball here, taking over, taking your calls. So, who do we have out there? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm not the one running the show. Oh, so all these calls are going to Lance. Well, you know what? Once we get Lance back on, we'll get these calls going, and we'll have ourselves a good time over here on 360. Still there, Lance? I think we might have dropped connection. Let me try something.